Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing? So today I want to go over the 4-star weapons that you can make from the Blacksmith using the crystal chunks and silver iron ore. These weapons are not exactly end-game material, but if you're just starting out, this is a great way to get some really good 4-star weapons. Some are better than others, but I'm going to let you guys know which ones I think are worth crafting early on in the game. So before we jump into the video, just a quick reminder, guys, I am streaming over on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 8 p.m. EST. If you want to come check that out, or subscribe to this channel for more content coming up soon. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So before we start, just in case you don't know where the blacksmiths are, there are two. One is in Layaway, right near the Adventures Guild on the map. We're right here, right by the docks. And the other, if we go up to Mondstadt, is right by the front gate. This one you guys should have passed if you're early on in the story. Right up here. They both do the exact same thing, so it doesn't matter which one you go to. So talk to Master Zhang, like something made. This is also where you can get your weapon enhancement materials. If you didn't know, you can trade in iron chunks for the lower tier materials. You can trade in your white iron chunks for the mid tier, and then you could trade in your crystal chunks for the high tier. But let's get into weapons, because that is what this video is primarily about. So in order to get these weapons made, you do need the prototypes. Now, how do you get the prototypes? Well, you can get them from the souvenir shops, which are right near the blacksmiths in Layaway. You got one right here, the diamond, and of course in Mondstadt, it is right by the blacksmith, right here, right outside this water fountain. So once you have your prototypes, you come to the blacksmith, and you need a combination of white iron chunks, and you need crystal chunks. So once you have all that, then you get to decide which weapon you want to make. There are two for each weapon class. So let's start with the Claymore. So first up, we have Prototype Animus. These are your Claymores, and this one is all about the attack, right? So your base attack, 44. You have a percentage base attack as your secondary stat, and the effect. So on hit, normal or charge attacks have a 50% chance to deal an additional 240% attack damage to enemies with a small AoE. Can occur once every 15 seconds. Now, that's not a lot once every 15 seconds, but I do like this one because not only it has, of course, a high base attack, but its secondary is also attack. Because if we take a look at White Blind, which is your other Claymore, in this case, the secondary is defense. Now, on a unit that's carrying a Claymore, you probably don't want to prioritize defense unless you are in the scenario where you're running Noelle. I think White Blind is the superior Claymore if you are running Noelle as one of your Claymore users. If not, I think Prototype Animus is the way to go. But let's just go over White Blind here. So on hit, normal or charge attacks increase attack and defense by 6% for 6 seconds, max of 4 stats. So you're looking at a 24% increase to both attack and defense. And it can only occur every 0.5 seconds. So basically, you're going to be hanging on to this 24% for the most part. Now, you may say, well, you're getting 24% attack here, so why does it matter if we're not getting it over on the other sword? Well, yes, you're getting 24%, but depending on how much you want to invest in your sword or your Claymore, once you get this attack percent up, once you're ascending the sword, it's going to get higher than that 24%. And it's going to be consistent. You're not going to have to build it up. And yes, you don't have to build up White Blind that much. It will stack up, but you know, you don't have to really work for it. So that's why I think Prototype Animus is a little bit better. You also get that little extra buff of getting in some AoE. So moving on, we have our Polearms. Your Prototype Grudge has a secondary base stat of energy recharge, which is really not that bad. After using an elemental skill, you increase normal and charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds, max up to 2 stacks. So you're looking at a 16% damage boost, which is pretty good. Not gonna lie, this Grudge, this Polearm is pretty good. However, I think I like the Crescent Pike a little bit more. So in your terms of your secondary stat, you're getting a physical damage bonus. So this is not going to affect your elemental damage. But if you have a character who does have a high base attack, they're going to be doing a lot more damage. And again, this secondary is going to scale. So you will be getting more physical damage as you level up the weapon. And of course, as far as its ability goes, After picking up an elemental orb, normal and charge attacks deal an additional 20% attack damage for 5 seconds. Now, if you have characters who are going to generate a lot of elemental particles, and let's say, for instance, of course, you're using this on a Chung Ling. If you're using it on a team with a secondary pyro user, you're going to be generating a lot of pyro energy particles. So you're going to be getting her skills off quite consistently, and you're going to be doing a ton of extra damage. So if you're going for the polearm, I would go for the crescent pike. It just seems to me overall like it is the better polearm. Moving on to our normal swords, we have prototype Rancor. Again, quite good. Physical damage bonus, always nice to see. I would just like a flat attack bonus because that does affect your elemental damage, but physical damage bonus is pretty good because most of the time you will only be doing physical damage with your weapons. On hit, normal or charge attacks increase attack and defense by 4% for 6 seconds, max 4 stacks. So we're seeing the same effect as we did with the Claymores, except on this one we are getting the physical damage bonus instead of the defense bonus, which does make the sword a little bit better than its Claymore counterpart. The other sword we have is Iron Sting, and I like Iron Sting quite a bit. I actually have this running on my Jingcho currently, and it's quite nice. So as a secondary, we're getting Elemental Mastery, and for its ability, dealing elemental damage increases all damage by 6% for 6 seconds. Max 2 stacks can occur every 1 second. So if you are using this sword on a character who can deal elemental damage quite consistently, you're going to be getting a 12% damage boost for 6 seconds. Now, it's going to increase your damage quite a bit on a unit that can use elemental damage quite consistently, especially when Jingcho gets his burst off. He's doing a lot of elemental damage, and this damage stacks onto that, and it does a lot of damage. Plus, with the elemental mastery, if you are causing a lot of reactions, which he is, I have him working with Fischl a lot, it stacks up to be a lot of damage. And Jingcho has been surprising me. He is a powerhouse when it comes to damage. So Iron Sting overall is the sword I prefer, but honestly, both your swords are pretty good. It's just going to depend on the character you're putting them on. Moving on to the bows, we have prototype Crescent, which, see, we like this. Attack up, a base attack, and 9% is not bad at all. That's a really good starting number because we can only go up for there. So the higher we start, the better it's going to get. However, the downside is I am not crazy at all about the ability. So aim shot hits on weak points increase movement speed by 10% and attack by 36% for 10 seconds. Now, other players' playstyles might be different than mine. I almost never use aim shot, almost never. So for me, this bow really doesn't do it for me. Compound bow, however, I like this one. So now we have a 15% physical damage bonus, which is very nice. And we get a normal attack and aim shot hits increase attack by 4% and normal attack speed by 1.2% for 6 seconds, max 4 stacks. So we're looking at a 16% total attack increase and a 4.8% attack speed increase. And when you have attack speed, you're also increasing the potential DPS. So this bow is crazy good for damage. I love this bow. One of the best weapons you can create here from the Blacks. Out of the two bows, compound bow for sure is the one to go with. This one is far superior, in my opinion, to the crescent bow. Last up here, we have the weapons for your casters. First up, we have prototype mouse, which is kind of an interesting one. So for a secondary stat, you're getting an HP buff, which normally I'm not crazy about, but hear me out. This weapon is kind of interesting. So after using an elemental burst, you're going to regenerate 4 energy every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So you're going to regenerate a total of 12 energy. Additionally, all party members will regenerate 4% HP every 2 seconds for this duration, so a total of 12 HP. But I think that you could also potentially use this on a character who doesn't normally heal, just to have a little bit of extra support. For instance, if you were lucky enough to roll like a Mona, or if you wanted to put this on, say, your Lisa, since we're talking about these for your early game, honestly, it's not bad. It's fine. It doesn't really do anything for DPS. It does a little bit more for your sustain. So if you are looking for a character to help sustain, because let's be honest, Noelle, not the greatest when it comes to heals. So if you do want a second character that can cover that role, honestly, the prototype malice may not be so bad for you. And then we have the Mappa Mare. So you're getting Elemental Mastery as your secondary still, which I do like Elemental Mastery. It's kind of a low number, but you know what? Not bad. We'll take it. Triggering an elemental reaction grants an 8% elemental damage bonus for 10 seconds, max of 2 stacks. This one is all about the damage. So if you're just looking for more damage output, this is the one to go for. So this is a little bit more of the standard weapon, the one that you don't really have to work for as much or figure out where it fits. This one you can just kind of throw on a caster and it's going to work just fine, because let's be honest, most of your casters, you're going to be using them to trigger reactions. So you're going to be getting a lot of damage from this one. So if I had to choose between the two, I think the Mappa Mare is the safer of the two options. But honestly, I'm kind of interested to see how the prototype malice performs and if it is actually worth it. Overall, looking at all these weapons, they're not bad. Are you going to pull better weapons once you get your adventure rank higher and you're fighting bosses? Yes, of course. That's the whole point. But when you're starting out, these weapons are not bad. As far as my top options, my favorite options, Compound Bow is up there. If you have an archer you really like, Compound Bow is really good. The other one that I really like is Iron Sting. I'm a big fan of Iron Sting. And the other ones, you know, not bad, but I think that you will get other options that you prefer over these pretty quickly. But guys, that is my overview of the 4-star weapons here from the Blacksmith. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did and you want to see some more content from me, head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/xjazz207, and check us out Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 8 p.m. EST, or leave us a subscription right here on YouTube. And if you got any ideas for stuff you want to see or stuff you want me to cover, let me know down in the comment section below. Always looking for ideas. And of course, if you guys have some things that you need help on, I'm here to help you guys. I'll crank the guides out. But guys, that is it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.